I'm a beast, got jungle fever. Don't smoke, but a breakdown. The Chiba. Feel my senorita, you should meet her. Buenos dias, clean up. Clean cut, bitch impressed with stock beamers. I'm on property, dual citizen with the visa. My niggas Ninja Turtles, call me Tracy Sensei. Knock him, mold me a nigga, get out.
What's up with it? This is Bella. I am Martrice, Bella Martrice from San Francisco for you guys who do not know me because I've been seeing y'all peeking, but y'all ain't speaking. You feel me? Hey, look, Paul. There's been like people that's been like hella peeping Ghetto Poet, but they ain't been, you know what I'm saying, hitting that like button and that subscribe button. So
and they gotta ring that bell.
They should, right?
Right.
So welcome to Ghetto Poet Podcast for the peekers and for the speakers, for both of you. You know, we live in San Francisco. So we have Paul here. He's my producer.
Yee!
Thank you, Paul. So Paul has been practicing on his yee, and I think he's doing very well. I think we about ready to take him to a function. So today we have a dope ass poet here. Her name is Tera Da Poet. Hello, Tera.
Hey everybody, I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Miss Bella, for having me. I'm happy to yay.
Okay, so I have an introduction for you. Yeah. So Tera Da Poet, Oakland-raised poet, surfer, mathematician, and community activist. She volunteers as a surf instructor, and you founded S.T.E.A.M Against Violence to support youth impacted by violence.
Yes, I did.
Your poetry uplifts men, especially Black men.
Yes, it does.
And gives them their flowers while they are still alive and not just on their graves.
Right, as it should be.
Exactly. And you celebrate the ocean.
Yes, I'm a surfer, so I love to surf and I love the water. The common misconception is Black people can't swim, and I be in the water all the time. So
that's hella dope. So could you share with me the journey that led you to combine poetry, surfing, mathematics, and activism?
Yeah, so like I feel like for me growing up, I always was very outspoken. Just because of the environment I came from, like raised in Oakland, but born and lived a little bit of my teen years in Richmond, California. And it was always like you really had to physically fight to be shown respect, you know. And if you were small, you had to still fight. You still had to, you know, kind of, you know, stand up for yourself. And so I always had the passion for politics and just supporting youth that's been impacted by violence, because I came from a background of being impacted by violence, you know. So I lost my father and my brother and my grandmother to gun violence. So it was really hard, you know. And not to make the mood kind of down, but I overcame those obstacles, you know. I overcame my adversity, and the ways that I used my my intelligence and trying to channel all that stuff and not to hold it in and be angry or be sad. I served. And before that, I actually, shout out to my mentor. Before I even really started math, high school, I was always excelling, but I was always getting in trouble. I was always fighting because I was defending myself. You know, I was the smallest in the room all the time. So it's like, you know, I'm gonna get some licks in, you know.
So you say you served, so you went to the military?
No, I never went to the military, like surfing.
Oh, you served?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought you said you served.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and you know what's hella funny is that all the stuff that you do is like polar opposites. They're all things that, let's say, for example, like math. They're like, women isn't good at math. Black people aren't good at math. So it's like you're breaking the stereotypes of everything that you're in.
Yeah.
So how did that come? And two, all of these things just seem so disconnected. So how did you form this passion for all of these things?
Yeah, it just came on the road. Like I'm truly blessed to have a lot of support system in my life. And Tracy Camp, my mentor, is a big part of my support system. So shout out to her. And I just, you know, in high school, I always were excelling at math, but I just never had the opportunity. In junior college, I met a Black math professor. Her name was Tracy Camp, and I kind of did well in algebra. And she, but I was running track still, so I never really put my all into it. And then unfortunately at the time I lost my brother to gun violence, and I went homeless. I was like living in my car, but I still was going to Laney Community College, and I was getting straight A's, and but I was sleeping in my car or in shelters or whatever I can sleep in. Tracy Camp, she opened her home for me, and she was the math instructor, and currently is the math instructor at Laney Community College. And her mom was actually a math instructor at Laney Community College before her, and she was one of the first Black women to be integrated into Louisiana University at the time of segregation. And so she had ended up getting her mom same office, and her birthday is on Pi Day 3.14. So it's like she was meant to be a math teacher, and so she believed in me. And one day she was like, will you be my math tutor? And I was like, yeah, I did well in high school, but I didn't really apply myself because it was just so much going on. Like, I'm hungry, or I'm fighting, or it's just the community I came from. I had to do what I had best. I didn't get to really focus. And so she asked me to be her tutor, and to speed things up, I got into math, and I was supposed to basically take her position when she retires. And so the math department is kind of waiting for me. So I studied at the university.
Dope.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, wow. That's such a heartwarming story.
Thank you. Yeah. So I transferred to UC Berkeley. A little bit I interned for NASTA. I studied in China at Fudan University. I studied 2 years. I speak a little bit of Mandarin Chinese. And so and from Berkeley, it just really, the doors opened for me, and I'm really grateful to have that privilege. And I, just calling out the privilege that I have is to go to Berkeley and to be introduced to those spaces where I was introduced to surfing, where I was introduced to all those different things. But as I grew up, I always was a writer. I always was like spitting. I always had journals full of but I just never was like, okay, I'm going to be on a stage. And so it was this year that I actually was like, okay, actually the sisters at We Heal Different in Richmond, California, shout out to Breezy and Nunu and Bobby, they gave me a chance on a showcase, and then from there I was just getting featured, and now I host my own open mic. So, and I just kind of put it all together, and then surfing was just like my escape. It was like, oh, I can go in the water, and it's like,
let me ask you a question about surfing. So how did that happen?
Okay, so the specific story is 2018 when I transferred to UC Berkeley. It was my first year. I was in an African American group chat, or a Black group chat, and then they were like, "Oh, there's something called Brown Girl Surf," and then I was like, "Oh, this seems cool. I want to surf." And then at the time, I didn't really know how to swim, so I didn't really get to learn how to swim until 2018 at UC Berkeley. I took some classes, and so I kind of was okay, but I didn't really know how to swim. And then I went there, and it's actually called Salted Roots now. So they changed the name to be more gender inclusive. And so shout out to them. They do free to sliding scale price surf instructing.
Oh, wow.
And they provide you with the equipment too if you can't afford it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Then we should bring that up, Paul. Not this second, but just to have, what is it called?
Salted Roots now. It used to be called Brown Girl Surf. So it's probably under Brown Girl Surf.
So I have a question. So you said that you have a connection to water. Did you establish, to the ocean. So did you establish that connection before or after you learned how to swim? And when you got to surfing?
Yeah, really when I got to surfing, because it was like, even now I be having my moments where I'm just wiping out and I'm like, dang, this is so frustrating. But I just love the water, because it's like it's just you never know what's at the bottom, so it's like I really enjoy those type of things. And I'm ready to fight a shark. I've seen a YouTube videos. I'm ready.
So you ready to what's funny is that I've always admired surfers, and I've been knowing how to swim since I was a kid. I actually learned at Oakland YMCA. My grandma, she would take me there to like formalize it, but I always had a love for water. And then we coastal babies, so I've always had just a love for water. But one thing, I'm terrified of sharks. So you ready for one? You girl, ain't no shark gonna mess with you.
That is so funny.
They ain't gonna mess with you. They gonna be like,
No, you know what's so
She
crazy?
from Richmond and Oakland. Leave her alone.
You know what's so crazy? I've dated a guy before, and
Mm-hmm.
he actually was incarcerated for like a little while, and then I was like, yeah, let's go surfing, you know, and he was like, I don't know what's in their water. I was like, they might be scared of you.
For real.
So yeah, it's I really appreciate that connection to the water now that I have. Just being able to go escape. It's cold right now, but I ain't really been traveling a lot, but I'm really going to step outside my comfort zone and start to travel to different beaches so that I can get a experience that, you know.
You said a mouthful though earlier. So you'd have been to China. So you was out there. So you speak Mandarin. So okay, let's talk about that. So what did you go to China for?
So basically, I studied Mandarin Chinese at Laney Community
Okay.
College for 2 years, and then we applied for this scholarship. It was like each school. So Laney Community Colleges has like four colleges. That's
I used to work at Laney.
yeah. So they they have four sites, different sites: Berkeley, Alameda, Laney Community College, and I think Merritt. And so they had a scholarship for the top people in a junior college. And so at the time I did a lot in junior college. Like I just after Tracy Camp had me be her math tutor, like my life changed for me. It was like I couldn't believe it. It was like monies that I never dreamed of, and like coming from an impoverished background, or you know, growing up and not having a lot, is like now I can afford to do these things. Now I can afford, because I got this education and I've been introduced to so many different things that I can have under my belt. And you know, just to have that you know, that opportunity to just experience so many things in life is I'm grateful.
Yeah, that is amazing. Like to come, and I feel like there's a lot of, you know, funny, like there's a lot of stigma, like coming from, you know, impoverished backgrounds or even community colleges. Like I know a lot of people are elitist and, you know, they have a lot of things going on with them. But how was the transition from being like growing up in a hood, you know what I'm saying, then having that such a great struggle and then going to UC Berkeley?
Man, it was a transformation. I tell you that. It was like, you know, even before UC Berkeley, I kind of started to do better in my life, you know. I kind of, after, you know, high school, I finished my 10 credits at the time. It probably shows my age. I had to pass a high school exit exam. And so I scored the highest in the high school exit exam. And
Damn.
but I had got into an altercation with some girls, and I was 10 credits away from graduating, and so we ended up getting in a fight and I got kicked out of school. So I was like, you know, I'm just go to Berkeley Adult. I went to Berkeley Adult, finished my 10 credits. I got my high school diploma. I transferred to Laney. Then it was just a community there. Like everybody supported everybody there. Like it's so weird that they look down upon junior college or community college, because it's that intimate experience. It was that, oh, when I'm studying so many hours at night just to find out what is this quadratic equation, or anything I'm doing with complex mathematical equations. They were just there to support you, office hours, caring. And then when you went to UC Berkeley, you're just a number, you know. So
Makes a difference.
yeah, it makes a difference, you know. So there's so many students there, and so like I said, that the reason I went to China is because I was chose from scholars that each junior college got to send 2 scholars out of many students in 4 campuses. And so I was chosen, and we got to go to China as China scholars. So we were the top of our top, you know. I'm on student body council, I'm getting scholarships, I'm in a newspaper, I'm activism, I'm running track, I'm, you know, a tutor, I'm doing so many different things. And so, and I'm getting good grades. And so, and that's why I say, you know, to even have a skill, you don't have to go to college, but it is very smart to you know, hone something and you know, go for a degree or have a trade so that you can uplift yourself out of poverty. And so yeah, so like kind of to wrap it up, Berkeley was just as not just the isms of being impoverished or coming from a low income background, but just being a Black woman, being a
right.
dark-skinned Black woman, because
Right,
you know
right,
that
right.
we don't want to talk about the difference and the colorism that still come up even
No,
within our inner
absolutely.
communities, you know.
Yeah.
And so I always felt as though um I in Muslim too, you know, so I always have
Oh,
felt as
damn.
though that we just had so many different isms, and that I wasn't prepared to go to Berkeley. When I was in junior college, you know, I was doing good. I'm taking 3-4 math classes at a time. I'm doing good. It's because I had the support. And then when you
Mm.
get to UC Berkeley, you don't got no support. And then the Black community is small. And then inside that Black community, you go to the mathematics department, and that's small. You know, so you're a very, very small percentage. And then those Black people, that is Black folks, are from the African diaspora. They're not from Oakland, California, and the Bay Area. They've traveled to come here. So those cultural differences, not finding your community. But, you know, it was a lot of people at UC Berkeley that I did find. And you have to look for those resources. You have to look for the connections, you know. And so yeah, I'll just say really be prepared to transfer, study, really know what you're going for. And if I could do it again, I would change my major, not because I don't love math, but because I wasn't always happy at Berkeley. It was a tough experience. I'm happy I overcame it, but I'm grateful, you know, for the opportunity and to have been there. You know, I always think of it like this: for me to be at UC Berkeley, 15,000 students got you know, rejected for my spot, you know. So I'm grateful. I got accepted to a lot of colleges, and I wanted to stay close to home. But once I pursue my master's, I feel like you know, I don't want to go for so much prestige.
I have a question. What do you feel has been your strong suits, like as far as in your character? Like, what helped you navigate, you know what I'm saying, through being homeless, through being like, what gave you this tenacity to still go to school, to get straight A's? Because I feel like there's sometimes that people think, oh, you were just born smart. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, or do you, like, what is it like? What is it? Shit. What's your gumbo? Like, how you put that together?
What is my why? I feel like the let's go back at the what has helped me overcome my obstacles. I say my support system.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of the times I do overlook my support system because, you know, I kind of get sidetracked, and, you know, we're all human, you know. And so I'm working on something in myself, is to not focus on folks that don't have any love for me or don't have any care for me. I want to focus on the folks that's here to love me only, you know. So that support system, just my ability to overcome adversity. Not to brag, because I had to overcome so much. And it's like, honestly, in 2014, when I lost my brother to gun violence, I was like, can't nothing stop me. I woke up the next day after my brother wasn't living no more at 21 years old, and he was 23, you know? So it was like, and loads of him on the street of East Oakland too. And, you know, and then,
Rest in peace.
yeah,
you know?
thank you. His name was MD, you know, Omar J. May you rest in peace, big brother. And so he is my why. My father, who I lost to gun violence, my father, Dante, Neff, he was really great at math, and I appreciate him, and I shout him out. He passed that ability on to me to be good in math. And then my dad, he kept a job. You know, so he always had a job. He was clean. He was nice. He always took good care of us. And so I feel like that, also seeing him. And, you know, shout out to my mom for always being strong, single mother, raising 5 children. And I can't believe it, you know, to be easy. And me being, you know, at my age and still not having kids. So I still don't really understand, you know. But I understand she lost her son, and he can never come back. And so that's a pain that I always look at myself. I'm like, you know, I want to make my mama happy. I want her to, you know, live a good life for the rest of her time on earth. All of us living a good life, you know. So every day I wake up, and I do have my lows, and it's really hard to be like, okay, I'm gonna keep going. And something I'm working on now is my sense of discernment. Yeah. And so, like, not being around people and that energy is off, or just keeping it professional and keeping it there. Because I think for me, I've realized that, especially me being new in the poetry world and actually performing, you know, I feel as though some folks, and I'm not saying like, oh, I'm all that or anything, but I feel like some folks have felt like, oh, you're stepping over me. I've been doing this for so many years, and now you've come in here and you're climbing this ladder. So you know, and it's kind of like competitive, and not just it's okay to be competitive, but you know, to do things that I feel like don't serve me, then it's like, okay, I got to look at myself, because it's not them that's not serving me. It's really myself, because I'm allowing others to overstep my boundaries. And now I'm upset because I gave them so much. And in my head, I expected them to be there when I needed them. And so like, that's now me just focusing on me and having a better sense of discernment, you know? So that's really important for me to build my community.
You know, you talked about your dad, your brother, and your grandmother, you losing them to gun violence.
Yeah.
And I know one of your things is that, like, one revolving theme that I see is giving Black men their flowers while they're still living. Is that because of your
because of my father and because of my brother. And with my father, I was very young, and it's still very painful, of course. But with my brother, it was the most impactful because we grew up together. We were right there side by side, and we also overcame losing our grandmother when we were younger and our father to gun violence together. And so to lose him, well, different scenarios, but you know, like, you know, and I don't tell people this because, you know, I'll tell people that don't have the same experience as me, and they're like, why was your family in gang violence? And they wouldn't realize that
that's offensive, first of all.
It is. It is. But, you know, different situations. But, you know, what's crazy is actually happened at the same house. So first, my dad lost his life to.
And how much close times, didn't mean to cut you off, but in how much close, or how much.
How far apart?
How far apart in time?
I think 5-6 years apart from each other.
You go ahead, and I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I just wanted to make sure I understood.
No, you butt in, because I will talk. And
no,
so
yeah, believe me, that's what.
Please,
no, I'm all ears, man.
Please.
And usually I'm talking because I'm so engaged. Today I'm shutting up because I'm listening. I'm so engaged. So no, please.
No, I'm happy you're enjoying the story. I know it's a sad story, but I like to share my story. So not that it's a funny thing, but because
it's real.
Can see the realness in it. And like, sometimes I feel as though because I have stepped in a realm of going to prestigious UC Berkeley, and I've, you know, studied there, passed on from there, and now it's like I'm now in this different aura, you know. And so like, I don't always get to share these things, where sometimes I may feel embarrassed, like, dang, all these different things happen to me. I lost so many people to gun violence, like, and not just losing those 3 main anchors in my life, to have everybody around me just dying from gun violence. And then to see the process of gentrification, and to know that so many people lost their lives over this, and now these other new community can come and just walk their dog. It's just very heartbreaking to go to my house and my home city and not recognize it. And I get that we're always changing. I never want to be stagnant. Innovation, we're moving with technology, but also like the lives that was lost and forgotten and not funded.
So continue the story that you were saying. So you said it was in the same house?
Oh yeah, so it was at the same house. It wasn't in the house, but it was in front of my house when I was younger with it was my grandmother first. I don't remember the story, but I just know I was sitting on my grandma's lap, and a man, I guess my auntie, when she was younger, she got into it with his sister, and then I don't know what happened. They got in a fight. And then the brother came to harm my auntie for what she did to his sister, even though his sister was older than my auntie. My auntie was like 12 and his sister was like 19, hanging out with a 12-year-old. But you know, also my grandma, she was part of the sweep of the crack epidemic. So she was on drugs, you know, at the time. And so, may she rest in peace. She kind of allowed her to do whatever, but you know, I don't know what went on. Whatever went on, he got decided that he was to be the judgment of taking my grandma's life. And sorry.
No.
Yeah, so I was, you know, sitting on her lap, and he kind of asked her to get up, and then he was like, he asked for my auntie, and she was like, I don't know. She was like begging for her life, pleading for her life, and then, you know, he just shot her
in front of you.
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Oh,
you know.
My God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so those are the things I have to overcome, you know, and so I just have to be strong, because it's like I've been through so much. I can't go back now.
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
You only can go up.
Right.
I'm not going back down.
You were so young at one point. You were sitting in her lap, so that's how.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then my dad, when I was, older,
Mm.
in the same house in the backyard, different scenarios. My stepfather, my sister's father. So when I talk about colorism, either earlier I kind of touched on this. So I have, and this is the thing about having families where, not that it's nothing wrong with it, happens, but having families with different fathers,
Right,
because it could sometimes not go well. But I'm not really.
There's 3 of us boys in my family and 3 fathers, so I get you.
Yes. It's a lot of dads.
Yeah. Sometimes 3 too many. I mean,
Yeah, no, for real, 3 is too many. But yeah, I actually enjoy you interrupting sometimes because it makes me not feel so self-conscious. Like I'm
Good.
taking all the mic. So
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sitting up here listening. I'm looking at Paul like, shut up,
Interject.
Paul.
Well, no, and I'm trying to nod, and I'm trying to actively listen, but it's your story.
No,
is,
my
your
story is a
very captivating.
telenovela. Novella.
Yeah.
My story is a telenovela.
You messing with my story already.
Not that it's funny. It's just like I've been through so much, and so like when I tell people, they're looking at me like, "I'm so sorry." It's either I'm so sorry, or it's are you okay?
Well, yeah, and I'm compelled to hug somebody.
Yeah.
So like when you start telling me about it was my dad and my grandma, I'm like, oh
Yeah,
man, dear, virtual hug.
Yeah.
So.
But you know what's funny? I felt so different because I had some traumatic experiences. So for me, I'm so uncomfortable because I feel like I'm so desensitized that when I talk about it, I'm like, yeah, and this happened. And like you said, people
Matter
have
of fact.
different responses. So for you, I would have never guessed. And I'm like, oh wow. Like, so when you was like, there's certain people that don't get it, you absolutely right.
Yeah, I've been through so much, and so it's like, and it's like when you talked about that question of overcoming, and it's like at this point, after losing my brother, because
And
everything
seeing your
hurt.
grandmother get,
Yes,
that's too much.
But I feel like for that, I remember the story in some way, but my mind has mentally blacked out.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of this. Like I remember it, but I don't remember it in detail.
Right.
I think that my brain was like, "This is bad. We're gonna put this in the back of your brain, and you're gonna now focus on math and surfing and be happy." and so poetry is my way to express myself. I can create my different stories. I can share these different stories, and I don't like to. With my poetry, I think some people are so fixated on their poetry sitting inside the box. And it's okay to have, traditional poetry, to take a writing class. But sometimes I like to be me through my poetry. That's what my art is for, to express myself,
right?
So I talk about men being incarcerated because my stepdad was incarcerated. But to go back to that story, let's get back to it. I don't know the details, and I don't want to say I know the details, but so overall, I'm not sure my father got into an altercation I'm not really sure, but my mom was doing my hair. All I remember is our door was open, and then my father was actually very successful. He was a amateur boxer. His hands was lethal weapons. He had many jobs, and he was actually taken out a loan to start a community center to teach youth how to box. So my father, he had a lot of money, and so he always kept a nice car. He always smelled good. He always bought us a lot of nice things, and so he was my light. And so his smile, and I'm dark skinned, I'm black, but my dad was darker than night. And so when he smiled, his teeth was white, like so it's like the walls. And I'm like, Dad, where you go? I want to see some nice teeth, So like those are the little memories that I have of my father that I get to bring with me. But yeah, and so I'm not sure what their dad was. I never really asked about him. I really care to ask about him, so I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. But he got into an altercation with my father. He didn't want to fight my dad because my dad was an amateur boxer. My dad would have, smacked him boy down. And he took out a gun. He chased my father to our backyard. I kind of seen him because I was getting my hair did, and then all I heard was shots. And so he didn't die because he was shot. He died, and I want to take this time to bring awareness to this. He died due to the time around the ambulance got there. They took too long to get him. And one more thing, do not touch a person that's been shot unless you know you can handle a gun wound. Somebody touched my father and a bullet traveled to his heart. They thought they were helping him, but you gotta and you know, my nonprofit, I actually have a nonprofit called S.T.E.A.M Against Violence, Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, Mathematics Against Violence. And we work with youth that's been impacted by violence around their home, in their community. And shout out to my auntie Keisha. She has something called a nonprofit organization called Keys to the Future. And her brother is my father. And so we both experienced a lot of had to overcome a lot of hardship. And so I had a lot in common with my auntie. And the crazy part is, growing up, I'm not going to say we bumped heads, but we didn't always get along. And now I got older and we both have these organizations, and I see her publishing this book, and I'm so proud of her. I'm just like, we actually is the same. This is why we don't get along. So yeah, to make a long story short, he took my father's life in the backyard. And it was a moment. My mom said, go inside. I remember the ambulance got to the backyard. They walked to the backyard. Mom said, go inside. And I didn't listen to her. And so I seen my father on the stretcher.
Oh my God.
As a kid, you know, so I had nightmares.
It's one of those images you'll take.
Yeah. With me forever. It's like I blacked it out, but the story's still there.
Right.
You know, my mind is like, this is true traumatic, Tera. We have to make room for your happiness. We have to make room for your healing. We have to make room for you to, when you see your therapist, when you're writing these things, and when you're expressing yourself through your art, through your poetry, when you're swimming in the ocean, you know, we need to make room for these things. You know, so I carry these stories to tell them and share them so people can know that it's so easy to judge a person. It's so easy to be like, they got a lot, or they're doing well, or even, oh, they're messy, or they're full of drama, or to overlook a person, but to not forget, every day we are all struggling just to go forward.
Tera, when you write, are you kind of a vessel and these things come through you, and the emotion really doesn't hit you until you perform it? Or does it happen while it's happening? Are you almost like a psychic or a medium? All of a sudden the emotion takes you, and before you know it, you have a piece of paper, it's filled with words.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I still struggle with that specifically. Like, I do things where, like flowers. I have a poem I'm gonna share here. It's called Flowers, and it gives flowers to men and black men before their grave, as they should, because, you know, I realized I never gave my brother flowers until on his grave. I never was like, bro, like, here you go. Here's some dandelions or some sunflowers.
Oh, like literal flowers.
Yeah, flowers are just, you know, words of affirmation.
But look at what lesson your brother taught you. Now you're doing it every day for not only him, but others.
Yeah. And so
you do realize that.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, because I want you to take in that moment.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. And in my poetry, I do it in a third person point of view. So like the flowers poem is like dedicated to the fact that black men and men don't get their flowers while they're alive. But at the same time, it's not dedicated to my father directly or to my brother directly.
Yeah, it's just
in general, it's probably more to a lover.
That, you know, I've seen you perform that poem.
I like that big smile came across your face there.
I've seen you perform that poem. And it's funny because my dude, he called me a nigga shamer. He do. And,
AKA feminist, y'all.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely a hood feminist. No, for real. And I do give my black men their flowers, literally and literally, and you know what I'm saying, metaphorically,
as they should.
And I want them back.
No, for real.
No, for real.
You better let us know.
I get them back. I get them back. Now I got folks, and I really love, you know, my people. So I'm happy that, you know what I'm saying, me being a nigga shamer, even though I am an uplifter. No, I take it.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying, like when I remember when you was doing that poem, I was like,
yeah.
I was just like,
it's a hard thing, you know.
It was a
hard thing
because I felt, and you was really there, and I was really like, this
and
is something that needs to be, especially now with the climate, with the internet. It's like that's combating a lot of negativity. You know what I'm saying? You want to, like, when you ready or whatever, you could spit whatever poem you feel me, you feel like.
Oh, okay. We're gonna spit some poetry, but I did want to wrap this little part up of I wanted to say that I share so many heavy things today, but I want to take the time in the moment to be present and to appreciate everybody in this room and to be here. I've come very far, and I want to take the moment to be grateful of myself and proud of myself to be sitting here and to thank y'all for allowing me to, share my story and be on this platform. I'm happy to be here.
And we appreciate your time and company. Thank you.
No, absolutely. And I really appreciate your authenticity, because I feel like often there's times where people do create this fictitious image that is a representation of them, and you really don't understand. So,
you just want to say it. Bullshit.
what do you mean?
Bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Bullshitting.
Yeah,
sometimes it's all big front, right?
It's all the front, so, and I'm just original. I'm just me, I can only be myself, and I express that through my poetry. I'm not really trying to fit the standards, fit the box. Of course, if I'm, submitting something to be submitted in a specific magazine or book, of course, I'm going to create the, citation to fit correctly, but or the reference or whatever. But as far as writing, I'm rapping about hood niggas. Not that I date them anymore. I went to a prestigious university.
Like they ain't got them there, girl.
Yeah, they do got them there, but just stay away from them.
You should have done that with your pinky in the air. That was pretty
good. Get you a stay away from them. Yeah, I've learned my lesson. I've had those times. But anyways, I feel like my poetry is really raw, and it does not only talks about that, but experience of incarcerated people. And specifically in my poetry, it talks about incarcerated men. And like, it was always this, I don't know, juxtaposition, I should say, because I lost my father to gun violence, but I had to, in the same home, watch my two sisters grow up without a father, but their father was writing them letters, calling them on the phone, and so it was a torn. And so for a little while, me and my sisters were getting in fights, and I didn't think, and I was like, did I secretly want to take what they dad did to my dad? And I was like, no, we were just regular siblings. We just had regular sibling fights. And so I have, to this day, I'm very hard on myself that I could have been better for them. I could have been a better big sister. But the juxtaposition is like having their father be incarcerated.
Yeah, and then too, it's like, I don't even see how you could even, like, thinking about it as from an adult perspective. How do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So for a child to navigate that, because here it is, you took my father. I mean, your father took my father, and then he's writing you to our home that was
really tough. Yeah, it was really tough.
I think
it was really tough.
I don't think there's really no
tough. Even now, they still contact with their father, and I just tell them this, I'm older now. We've done this for many years. He's been incarcerated for a long time. So long that he probably is up for what do you call it? Parole or something. Yeah. So we'll see. But I just been doing this for so long, so it's like I no longer be too mad. Sometimes it hurts me for them to tell me the story. Like, I talked to my dad. It's like, if you're gonna talk to him, just don't tell me about it. Don't tell me when he called. Don't tell me when you talk to him. I'm not gonna sit there and bash him. None of that, because what has been done, it can never be undone.
Right, and we're only human. Yeah. We feel things like jealousy and pain and stuff. And
that's true. And I definitely felt jealousy at times. I felt jealous because they had their father and I didn't.
So the difference is you can feel the jealousy and you can next time learn from that.
Yeah,
right?
You learn from that,
Or you could not feel the jealousy, not realize you're doing it, and be oblivious and just go through life blind.
Right. And I feel like me and my sisters, we overcame some things together. We were tight-knit. We were under the same home. We had the same mother. We had different fathers, but I don't look at it like how the books and the professional references look at it. If you got the same mama as me and we were raised in the same household, you my full sibling. Right. It ain't no half-seas. You my full sister. In the book, we have siblings, but we've been through a lot. And my younger sister, Cece, she does all my makeup. You know, so I'm like, yeah, I got a sister that can do makeup. And so shout out to my hairstylist, Slay. She always be slaying me with the natural, you know. But yeah, so I'm grateful to have people in my life that love me. And me and my sisters, we came a long way. And so I just want to see them succeed. And it's like, I can't change the past. No one can. And it wasn't their fault. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't, it was the man who pulled that trigger. And he's serving his time. And it does sometimes boggle me down. I'm like, you know, I get lost. I'm like, dang, I could have my father here. He was very much an entrepreneur. I know if my dad was here, that I'll be 10 times, 100 times more, because I would have that guidance, you know. And single mothers are strong, but there's so many things that a single mom cannot teach us that a father in a household can teach us. You know, so that was hard navigating where those resources was, or seeing what love was, and navigating through my own red flags and my own toxicities and the things that I know I had to work on because of the trauma and the baggage that I still carry and I work on every day, you know. That's really what it is, you know. So I'm not perfect. I do things, but I got a big heart. And I love really hard, and I give back to so many people, and I give back to my community, to the point I was like, I had to slow down. Like, dang, Terry, you kind of going broke. You giving back to your program. You giving back to the kids. Cause I'm like, you know, the kids, you know, we do stipends for them. Basically when they come, we teach them how to facilitate a workshop, a STEM workshop. So science or technology or engineering or mathematics, or, you know, they're giving them a job to do, and they get paid out that same day, from $50 through $200. And we're working to get that funded and for the program, so it can be consistent, starting a mentoring program for them. And what that does is it deters bipping in Oakland. And so if you don't know the term bipping, tell us what it is, Bella.
Oh, it's when you get your shit broke. It's like when they take the end of one of these devices and they bust your window out and steal all your shit, or they get a spark plug and throw that motherfucker.
The magneto from a spark plug.
I'm like, it's, when you take it, somebody told me that's what this is for. Like, it's
yeah, they have them. They sell them on Amazon, just small. And I'd be like, man, these youth that's impacted by violence that is now turned into the streets to, you know, participate in the crime, you know, because it is the youth. The statistics says it's the youth in Oakland that's doing these different things, these murders, these crimes. You know, it's the youth. They're hungry. It's a lot of things going on. There's no money. So, you know, funding in Oakland is being cut. You know, I actually go to city hall meetings. I actually do a lot, as I should do more. You know, I'm so busy, I don't always get to be there, but I be trying to really, you know, know a lot of shout out to Kevin Jenkins. He just won his election to be the temporary mayor, city of Oakland, and you know, he's very supportive, and he actually follows us. Shout out to Mayor Shang Tao. I'm not sure what happened, y'all, but I just want to show appreciation for her while she transitions very professionally out of her position, you know. So shout out to her and everybody that's really working together to make Oakland better. So yeah, to speed that up, but we paid him the same night, up to $200, and depending on what the budget is, and they get to take it home, and it deters them from going to get that quick cash. Right. Because you breaking somebody's car, you can, I got an iPad, I got a phone, I got this, I got that, I'll go sell this. Oh, this a lick. Right. You know, so I want to change the narrative around that. I want them to know, like, hey, and the fact that I have to know as, okay, so for a long time, it actually, this year I started to perform on stage, you know, and it was hard for me to overcome that. It's like, I know that I'm great. I know that I'm fire, but I just don't have the courage to share that with the world, you know? So I've been writing it down, you know, books on glory, you know, always wanted to, you know, recording my little raps when I was younger, you know? So, and so coming out and being, into poetry, it's really a great expression.
What's your pre-stage ritual?
Let's see. I'm really a freestyler, so like a lot of my, like, I will spit a fire freestyle.
So you,
I freestyle my poems, so I don't write.
Right.
I don't write. I just freestyle, and then I record myself if I remember it.
Don't worry. I understand everything you're saying. I'm looking at the subtitles underneath you in the closed caption, so I'm following everything you're saying. But is there anything you do since you get nervous right before you go on? Like you said, you freestyle, so it's not like you're trying to remember your lyrics because it's improv. So, do you do something to get out of your head to relax?
I'm really working on my stage presence. I feel like over the year, like if you see, I actually was just looking at a video. So shout out to Jose Cordon.
Yeah.
He really does a lot, and he could say that like the first time it was like I did a lot of open mics, but his was like, that's home. I know it's for me. I know this is it. So just going to his open mic at the beginning of this year was like Zoom. And then being in the showcase of the sisters and We Heal Different, I just got to be on the stage with people. Shout out to Blasta, shout out to Waymo Bands, like just seeing people from my community get out and be in their creative spaces. And so I was like, yeah, I gotta believe in myself. You know, my childhood friends from North Richmond, they out here, they big, you know. So I was like, I can't let them leave me behind. So I the sisters at We Heal Different, Breezy, Bobby, shout out to Twerk Therapy.
Oh.
Yes, so shout out to Twerk Therapy in Richmond. They just got a new studio. Shout out to them. I'm so proud of them. But yeah, so I was on stage with you know, some other very great creatives. And I was just like, wow, like I really came a long way. And like to piggyback and finish up and tie that in, because I know I got ADHD, I'm always everywhere. Just I'm just growing every day. I get better every day. And so like I actually was just chosen by a little while ago, Tera and La Russell's Good Company.
That's what's up.
She chose me, and so I was like, wow, like I actually didn't believe in myself, you know. So like I share my art with people, and but sometimes I sit down, I'm like, this is not good. I'm not good. I'm not great. And so that was shout out to her for choosing me. And it was like Tera she does these open mic showcases where you got to sign up, and it's like a bunch of creatives, you know, Good Company, La Russell, everyone knows the, you know. So I didn't really believe in myself. So I didn't even really apply into the last minute. And so it was so crazy because everybody was like sharing it, everybody. And we all know how the creative space is. We hungry. We're artists. We're performers. We're creative. We're low. Some of us is like, you know, starving artists, you know, so starving creatives, you know. So, yeah, like everybody was applying. I was like, I'm not going to get it. It's so many people. Everyone's so talented. Like, you know, I'm like, and then the last minute, a friend sent it to me again. And I was like, all right, I'm going to apply. Because I don't really have any content out, but I'm working on my poetry EP. So the first poetry EP, I will be dropping that, and I'm working on my book. And so those are the things I'm working on. So when she went to my page, I also have a reel page. So reels, I started with reels, and then I was like, I'm gonna do some poems, and then I blew up on both.
That's dope.
And so I started to go viral. Next thing I know, I got 2 million views from, you know, my poetry and, you know, stuff like that. And
That's
so people
dope.
started to recognize me. And so I was like, yeah, I really gotta
So
keep
this
up.
poetry journey has been like, it's in its infancy, and you already just like bow.
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope. And so like she was the only other poet, and it was her program, and then everybody else was like Little Boy Blue. Shout out to him, he's so cool. It was amazing getting to work with him. He got to he did the splits in a crip walk going across the stage at UC
that's
Davis,
dope.
and he went viral. Snoop Dogg reposted him.
That's
But yeah,
dope.
so he was chosen, I was chosen, and then the rest of it was Good Company. It was La Russell's team. So it was Hokage Simon, Michael Prince, and Malachi. And I was like, oh my gosh, and Tera. And I was like, oh my gosh, I get to perform
That's
with
what's up.
them.
That's
Like
totally
I
dope.
was like, you know, like I know they're regular people and they're out here putting in the work, but it was in my journey that I felt so low about my art that I was like, I'm done. I'm struggling. I'm done with this. And then next thing I know, Tera messaged me. She inboxed me. I'm like, me? You choosing mine? I don't got no EP out. You know, so like that was a great experience to know that you know, we talked about poetry being competitive, and shout out to me. You know, I got the spot. And not to say moving forward that I'm gonna keep getting the spot, but you know, put yourself out there, believe in yourself, and that's what I did.
Absolutely.
Well, I was going to say, you know, don't next time really, it's the ones that are the pie in the sky ones, the ones that you're like, oh, I'm never going to get this, that you should go for, and you shouldn't even look back. Because
Yeah.
those are the ones, even if you fail, nobody's going to know other than you. And it's really, believe me, you're not going to be older and on your deathbed thinking, whoa, I signed up for too many things. I try to do too many things in my life. It's the things that you didn't try that you're gonna regret.
No,
So,
really, and I'm just grateful that if that in that moment before that 30-minute submission time was up, I was like, all right, I'm gonna just put my little stuff in. I don't got no professional links. Let me put my little Instagram in here, and she gave me a chance. She seen me, and she gave me some good feedback. She was like, you stood out to me because you embed a lot of singing into your poetry. And so, so she seen my art and she shared that, allowed me to her a platform to share that. So
That's what's
yeah,
up.
I still get really nervous on stage, but I'm still working through that. So now I'm doing things like, okay, when I start, I'm gonna just have a call and response for audience, get comfortable, move
Right.
around, get my song on, get comfortable. So I'm starting to get more comfortable in my skin and who I am. But I struggle with things because when people record me, sometimes I'm like, ugh. I don't want to hear myself,
That's how I be.
So
Yeah.
so when you're alone or when you're with people that you're comfortable with, maybe hanging out around the house, you got family or whatever, are you one of those people that breaks out into song and conversation?
yeah, I'm a sing. I'm a freestyle.
I
When I'm in
kind
the
of see
shower,
that.
they be coming out. I'll be like, ooh, a fire. It's 3 a.m. I'm laying in bed about to get some water, and then it comes through. I'm like, oh, I can't sleep no more. This the gift, it's going. So I tried to at the time keep a little notepad by me so I can jolt things down, and just get my creative flows and juices flowing. It's really hard for me to sit down and write. I don't know, it's because I got ADHD. Everybody just sit around and write. I'm like, I can't do that. Freestyle off my head. And so like sometimes my poetry changed like 10 times before I be like, this is it.
Right. It's supposed to. So you about to share some poetry with us?
Yeah. So I'm gonna actually start off. What y'all want to hear? I want to say flowers for last. How much longer are we?
About,
Right now, you're at
we got 20 minutes.
Okay, cool. Okay. I'm gonna do flowers. I want to share that poem because I feel like we talked about those heavy things, and so something nice should come from it. Okay. So this poem is called Flowers and is dedicated to all men, but especially black men. Yeah, and it's like I said, not giving my brothers his flowers while he was alive. So I want to start that trend of loving men and loving on black men and allowing them to be appreciated. So I'm not saying it right perfectly, okay? Yeah. I never let this world tell me I can't buy my man flowers. Because every time he walk out that door, they utilize every piece of kryptonite it is to try to strip him of his power. I want to help my man build his kingdom. I want him to come home to his throne. I want him to bask in his greatness and wear power as his cologne. I want to be his safe space, his place where he never has to save face. You see, I want my man to be able to come home, strip off all his armor and cry. I want to be such a safe space to him that he can confide to me about anything and I never have to pry. I want to run his bath water and brush back his hair. I want him to know that when he walk out that door and there's a war because of his black skin, that his peace and his safe space is here. Let me cater to you. I want to be his destiny. I want to have his child and extend his legacy. And even after death, I'm going to stick beside him just like Nipsey and Lauren. And when I die, bury me next to him on that hill. I need you, baby. Yes, it's quite all right. Because what is a queen without her king? And in a world where you're taught to be invisible as a black man, when you come home, you will be seen. And I hope that our new love can continue to bloom. And in your heart that's riddled with pain, I hope that you can find a way to make room for our love to blossom, because you make me giddy and you fill me with bubbles and you're so sweet like buttercups. You see, your love makes me feel like a power puff. So yes, black men, you do deserve your flowers while you're alive and not just on your grave, because anything you do can be misconstrued, which can leave you to being locked up in a cage. And just like James Baldwin said, to be a Negro in this country is to always be in a rage. So yes, I will provide my man his flowers while he's alive. Because every time he walk out that door, it's a fight and a struggle just for him to survive. Poem. Woo! Thank you. Yeah, that's a special poem of mine, and sometimes I listen to that poem and I'm like taking notes. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be his piece. You gotta be my piece, so it gotta be 50-50. But you come home, bring your man peace, and it's like, you know, working on it. Everyone is human, but just allowing that space, for that safe space for men, it can be really hard because they don't get to share their feelings with the world, and so they always have to put up this strong suit, and you never know when they're suffering, so check on your happy friends, check on your sad friends, check on your friends, man. Love on people.
For real. So I have a question. So, okay, so you also write about the lives of incarcerated individuals. So what drives you to tell these stories?
Oh yeah, like I said, there was a juxtaposition between my father and my stepfather. I wouldn't even say stepfather, it's my sister's father. To just, I never put myself in their shoes because it was like I was always in my shoes of losing my father. I can never get my dad back. But I one day was like, hey, my sisters are also dealing with having their father incarcerated, so I want to see what they experience. I want to see their story because I live in my truth and my story, and I don't live in theirs. Imagine knowing this is your father that took the life of your sister father, and you still have to have that love for him. It's really hard to feel like, which way should I go? So like, I know that was really challenging for them. So I wanted to step in their shoes. And also, in the past I've dated men that's been incarcerated or been around the community of folks that's been incarcerated. And a shout out to California and all the great grassroots organizations that's out here pushing for the rights of people that is transitioning out. But yeah, so that was kind of it. And like, I actually have a poem that talks about incarceration. But the funny spin on this poem is, imagine Lion King was a hood nigga. Okay. Yeah, so here we go. Stop lying, King. You're not really heartless like you say. It's just that when they locked you up, you had to find a way to lock your emotions away. And when they locked you in that cage, then you became enraged. You then lost your brother to violence. You had to suffer in silence. Locked up with the hyenas, which left you with scars. Stripped out of your pride and locked behind bars. Pretending as if life is filled with no worries. But even Simba pretended to be content with the circumstances that he was in. Hakuna Matata. Yeah, doing anything to pretend that you're heartless, that you weren't stripped from your pride, that the betrayal of your brothers didn't leave you riddled with scars deep up inside. How you can no longer reside or decide on your own actions, being exiled and locked away from your home, no longer free to roam, voice recorded on your one call a day home. But how can you become a true king without a Nala by your side to remind you of who you are? Or that it's a way to overthrow the betrayal and get rid of your scars, to help remind you that you no longer have to run away and go far. Poem. Thank you. That was a special poem for me because I really quickly, sorry, I just want to say that it was very symbolic. And I don't know if y'all caught it. It was like, yeah, it was kind of referencing Lion King, but it was really talking about, one of my childhood friends that was locked away, that lost his brother to violence while he was in prison. Halfway through his sentence, he had 10 years. So to be incarcerated and to know I can't show no feelings. You can't show no feelings in prison. You're a man, you can't show no feelings. Your brother just got his life taken and you can't go to his funeral. You can never see him again. You're done. You won't even get out of prison for a while. So, one day he actually built this brick wall. And so I actually wrote a poem about him. And we tried, and we're still really good friends. He's someone I look up to. When I was younger, I was bullied a lot. And he supported me. And so like seeing his creative journey and coming from Richmond, he really inspired me to really believe in myself and step outside my comfort zone and to go on stage and share my poetry. And he even was like, go to my sister's showcase. He was like, I apply for my sister's showcase. Right. And so the sister's showcase was, We Heal Different. And that ended up being his sisters. And so I really appreciate him for passed me that resource and encouraged me to do that, so but yeah, so I just feel like once you have these scars as a man and you've been incarcerated, um you can't be you never really go back to yourself. You're always locked up, you're always locked away, so it's going to be really hard to overcome that wall, those barriers for those men. And the end of it about the Nala being by his side was like allowing someone to love you after you've been released. Do the work, you know. I've kind of gravitated away from I'm not going to be like, oh, dating men and like what's my dating preferences is like you cannot be incarcerated, I feel like someone that's striving toward to be something better in life, that is able to overcome their obstacles. If you were pedophile rapist, we're not doing
it. For real.
That's it. That's it. But yeah, like I feel like every story is very unique. And but yeah, so I just allowing people that's been incarcerated, not just men, but just allowing folks to love you and to and it can be hard transitioning back into society after you just served your sentence and you didn't know nothing was going on, you getting pushed back. But I see a lot of trauma in men. That's in I say specifically men, because that's the friends that I had and a guy that I dated. But just being in that community and seeing that that transition and that lack of support and those resources get thrown back out there. And that's why it's really important for me to be like, hey, very symbolic, but like open up your heart. You cannot get over your scars and the betrayal and being incarcerated and everything being taken away from you, and if you don't overcome it, you got to work through it. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah. And that's really, I think that's so dope that you're doing that, because I feel like there's a lot of women that's been so hurt by black men, that they often become the boogeyman that.
Yeah, hurt people.
Right, absolutely. So I think that for you to uplift black men in that way is really good. I think we need more of that just in general, but not just uplifting of the black men, but the uplifting of all of us, period. But definitely, you know what I'm saying, upliftment. I'm glad you're doing a dope job with that.
Thank you.
And I also want to ask you, because you're a mathematician, how do you see the relationship between mathematics and poetry?
I feel like it's very they're both hidden in an algorithm. We're putting it together an algorithm. There's an input, there's an output, and then we're creating this function. So like what will be the output of what you put into it? And so that creativity overlaps itself. And like we don't understand, math is really in everything. It can be in the stanza. It can be a haiku. There's always math in something. And so like to combine the numbers and to really pay attention to the numbers or the stanzas and to connect that different, that detachment. Because a lot of people, they're like, if they're creative, they're not into math. I've ran to that lately. A lot of creative, they're like, you serve. You go into archery. Like you do all these things. It's like, you a mathematician, they just care about the art, and that's fine. But I really want to change the narrative that you can do one or the other, because you can do both.
No, absolutely.
And I want the youth to know, like, you can go and be an engineer, you can go and be a doctor, you can go and get a trade, and you can be a rapper, or you can be a creative.
Right.
So you don't always have to be a struggling creative. I know it's if you in it and you dedicated, go right ahead. But it's always good to have a backup plan and kind of build off each other, Yeah.
And find a way. I like the way that you've brought all these things together, because that's a dope thing. But I really want to show your website.
Yeah, thank you.
And I really appreciate the work that you're doing. I really appreciate you coming and sharing your story.
Thank you.
Because that's not easy all the time. Yeah. It's very hard, especially to find spaces that feel safe enough.
Yeah, and thank you for creating that safe space, because like I said earlier, thank you for feeling
safe.
Thank
you. Know what I'm saying? And I've been quiet a lot, because it's like I've just been more listening. You answer a lot of questions before, you know what I'm saying, I get to ask them. There's so many things that I do want to ask you. Like one was like, what are some common misconceptions people have about you?
I feel like there's many things. I'm really getting better at walking away and not letting things hurt me. And I say recently some things did hurt me, you know. And I had to learn that there's always a lesson. And sometimes my lesson is that it's not them that wronged me, it's me that wronged me. And I say I wronged me because I have to keep my boundaries close to me and tight, and I have to know what I can afford to share, what I
Right.
can afford to give out. If my glass is empty, then I'm empty.
Mhm.
And so I think a lot of people may think that I'm angry or I'm always saying stuff, and it's like, yeah, I am. I'm going to stand up for myself. It's unfair that I'm hearing, you know, things. It's little things, you let things go, but when it comes to my career, professionalism, or getting positions, or you know, things like that, it gets to a point where I have proof and it's continuing to happen. Of course, I'm gonna confront it. I'm not gonna go looking for trouble. I'm not gonna be in a physical altercation. I don't want to. I don't want to give back and be a part of violence. You know, I am actually against violence. You know, I be having
Really?
my little, yeah. So I'm like violence prevention. My nonprofit is also
Okay,
violence
that's what's
prevention.
up. Okay, okay. Right.
Yeah. So we work with the city of Oakland.
Mhm.
We are
Shout out to
part
the
of. Yeah.
violence prevention program.
Thank y'all. We
Mhm.
love y'all.
Yeah, I know. I got some folks that
Mm-hmm.
has
Yeah.
been a part of that, so that's what's up.
Yeah. So we're part of the Department of Violence Prevention.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I'll go back to like, yeah, I think that, you know, it could be easy to be like, oh, this is a new person in this space and
Mhm.
I already know these people, you know. And so like my feedback would be to the creative space is to allow people to get a chance, you know. It's a lot of, I've been running to a lot of the creative space. It's about a lot of, you know, they'll tell people how they feel about you, and then that other person has come to you with that common
Energy.
misconception and that energy because they already heard this other person's story but didn't listen to your perspective. Or I'm very open-minded. If a person say I don't want you to talk to them, get away from me and like all that, unless they really harm somebody, kill someone,
Right.
rape someone. Like I'm going to get to know them as a person and give them a chance and opportunity so I can judge them directly,
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know. And so I think that's a lot of the things that's been happening to me. A lot of common misconceptions is that I've done something too wrong, or oh, she said this or she did this for to get back. And it's like, if I ever give out, it's never to be expect anything back, but it will feel good to know that um the people I allow in my space and my circle, that I trust me, that I trust, and I open to them and they open to me, that it's a possibility that they could be there to support me. You
Mm.
know, so like I would like them to be able to show up, you know. So that's some of the common misconceptions. I'm actually a really nice person. I help a lot of people. If you know me in the creative space, I show up to people's shows.
Mhm.
You know, it's a lot of artists out there that been doing the work for a long time and they don't have a support system. So I really try to make sure I support the artists. I'm always, you can ask different. Shout out to Jay Smacka from Richmond, from Richmond, rapper, Soulless the Happy Human. I'm always sending resources. Every
Mhm.
time something come up, I'm like, which artist can I send it to? All of them. Or like, you know, like, oh, let me add this person song to my playlist. I'm gonna get them some plays in, or I'm gonna add them to my YouTube channel. I
Mhm.
want them to get some
Mhm.
money, you know. So like I'm always giving back to my community to the point I had to stop because I was draining myself.
Right.
I was going broke. I was depressed. I helping everybody. I'm people pleasing,
Mm.
and I had to understand that created that childhood trauma. We're going back to that story I told y'all, you know. And you don't get that support. And you, as my program evolved, I realized I didn't get any social emotional learning support. I didn't learn how to regulate my emotions when I was younger, so that will come up as an adult. And so that's why I also embedded social emotional learning into my nonprofit. And so shout out to Chi Arelli. I really appreciate you.
Okay, boom. So wait, which? Because you actually have two nonprofits, correct?
I have one, but I do surfing, free to sliding scale surf lessons for
Okay,
people in the
can we bring
community.
up your nonprofit
Yeah,
actually?
so
What
my
is it?
nonprofit is S.T.E.A.M Against Violence.com. So the second one is Salted. The first one is Salted Roots. Shout out to them.
What
Um,
is?
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So, which one do you want to go to first?
First, Salted Roots, which
Okay.
was first Brown Girl Surf, but if y'all are, you know, new to this, they changed their name to Salted Roots to be more gender
Mhm.
inclusive.
And it's saltedrootssurf.org.
Mm-hmm. And also they do free through sliding scale prices where you could donate, and they do beginner, totally beginner. You don't have to know how to swim. You only learn how to ride the waves, white waters into the shore, So we create a safe space, teach you how to put on wetsuits, and it's been one of the most supportive uh communities. It really got me through Berkeley, because Berkeley was really hard. And as a Black woman with very, very few people that look like me, and no one wants to study with me because they feel like, let's just talk about the elephant in the room, that Black people aren't as great in math. And so when I'm doing well, I'm excelling. Yeah, when I'm doing well and I'm excelling, and everyone talk to me. So, it was, and I wouldn't even say that just the academics is hard and triggering. Just the culture, it's no community. And then shout out to UC Berkeley Black community. I'm not putting them down, but I didn't really feel as though it was a place created for me at Berkeley anytime. It was a few times, but I was lonely. I was alone.
And that always makes me feel paranoid. Did you know that? Anytime somebody goes, all right, let's talk about the elephant in the room, I'm like, really? Have I gained that much weight? I'm like, really? Come on.
I know, and especially because you had mentioned colorism earlier, and especially being a darker skinned Black female.
Yeah, it was.
So
it was
therefore,
crazy.
I know it probably was.
It was crazy. It was every day. Sometimes I had to focus on not making others feel comfortable, because they'll clutch their bag. I'm like, dang. You don't see my hoodie? I'm at the same university as you. Like, get off the elevator. Just little passive aggressive microaggressions. Little things like that. Or I had a university professor tell me, "Oh, you should change your degree to African American Studies," and I'm in a math class. I didn't do well in that math class, because the reason is, when you get your BA in mathematics, you do so many different types of math. You don't just do, I'm just going to do calculus or analysis. I'm just going to do real number theory. You don't get to do that. You're getting thrown into a pool of math fields that you're not even the strongest in. So I have my suits.
And then not having a supportive teacher isn't gonna. That's not gonna.
We're not even gonna talk about the professors there. Like a lot of them do. Shout out to them. They do a great job. But there's a few professors that's like, the thing about being a professor at UC Berkeley, it's not about teaching. It's about research. So they have to publish research, and it has to be good. So they don't have time to really focus on teaching. So the teaching assistants teach us. Probably, like, if it's a big group, large class, like let's say it's linear algebra 110. Shout out to y'all. I know y'all crying in that class, but we gonna get through it. I made it through. You can too. But yeah, just not supported and things like that.
Question. What if you could create a culture in the school system like that would be effective, especially with our people? What would you change, or what would you create?
With our people, I just say start by not being crabs in a barrel all the time. Sometimes I didn't say all the time. I love Black people. I love us, but we got to start by really uplifting each other. And that starts by letting these little grudges go. Like, I feel some type of way about this person. Sometimes, you can put stuff behind you, and we got to come together and unite as a community, and we can't say that we're only going to be selective of who we support in that Black community. It has to be open for everybody.
Right.
It don't matter what you look like,
Right.
We gotta,
right. And I feel like that's one thing, especially like we've been talking a lot about, uplifting Black men, but shout out to you especially for that, but also we're here to uplift you as a Black woman. And I feel like there's a lot of times where because of all the plight that Black men do have, that I've just, in my observation, Black women are constantly trying to lift up the Black man. But then when I look, the same energy isn't being reciprocated towards the women. And then, or I'll notice that, let's say, for example, if the woman is, some women that are being uplifted, maybe they're being uplifted because of their sexual appeal. Maybe they're being uplifted because of who they know.
Very selective.
Maybe is very selective.
Yeah.
on
It's
who
like, are they not going to be pretty? They're not going to be nice to the women that they're not really
attracted
to,
or that they don't see as an opportunity.
Mhm.
Do you get what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true.
So therefore,
So if their standards is too high, they're gonna stay. And you know what? I'm nothing against that, because I don't want to hear this argument of why would I be with her and she wants all this stuff.
I'm
Don't go
not
to
talking
her.
about in the dating. I'm just talking about within the community. Because
Yeah.
when I was talking about like what culture do you like being at a school like Berkeley and just navigating from, you know what I'm saying, from Richmond to Oakland to Laney College to UC Berkeley to China.
Yeah.
How what do you feel that we need as a community in order for ourselves, not just the youth, but from kids to adult? What community would you like? How would you create an academic community for us?
Oh, I say by supporting each other, investing in each other, giving back to the dollar back into the Black community. First of all, economic power is where we start. We got to get the funding and resources.
Right, that's true.
And then put together a strategic plan and get people that's really vested and ready to be a part in the community. And so like that's what I do. I create programs. I write curriculum. So like I'm really great at that. And so like really building a strong team, aside from saying anything about Black people not having each other back, and that's not always true. I love us. I love Black folk, and we do have each other back often. But sometimes it's because we don't know how to organize, or we haven't been given the right resources. So let's not talk about, we can't say this to Black people when it's so many things that we don't have the accessibility to. Like I'm into surfing and snowboarding and archery because I've been exposed to different spaces where I'm not the only person that looks like me.
And that's a trip, because if you think about, I remember up in it's the redwood forest. There's actually an archery. It's right in so it ain't right in East Oakland, but up there in the redwoods.
Yeah, that's where I go.
Center,
yes,
there's actually an archery thing, and I always
you should go. It's great. Like I really recommend
I have one of those.
I got one of those too.
You
They be up there high tech, and I'll be like, you know what? But it's also, I want to add, if you don't feel comfortable just sitting there shooting, because they are big on etiquette. I remember I came in, I didn't do the right thing, and everybody was staring me down the lane. I said, okay, I got it. Thank you. I won't do it again. But there's a trail where you can shoot as you go through the trail.
Oh, that's dope.
So
Okay.
go check it out. You can go on a hike and shoot. They have different targets as you go out. It's a beautiful experience. I love it there. That's the only one I've really been going to, other than like miscellaneous spaces to shoot.
I haven't been there, but I will go up there and I used to be like, I want to shoot.
Yes, get you a bow and arrow. I went on Amazon.
I got the gun one. Oh my God, it was so fun.
Yeah, the gun one is cool too.
Yeah,
I like to go back. I'm like, I wanna put the strength in. I might need an automatic one because my
you
shot
gotta
is
do
off.
the strength. Like you gotta put
surfers, we have strong arms and I work out. So but sometimes it'd be tired because I was like, it's a new year and I didn't skip gym for a week. Y'all don't judge me.
Let's take a look at your website. We got it up now.
Thank you so much.
Tell us a little bit about S.T.E.A.M
Yeah, so my website, S.T.E.A.M As you go through the different sites, we're working to update it. We just got our consultant is working to update it. But right now it has our logo on it. You go down, you scroll down, has our mission on it. Basically our mission is transforming science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics from a barrier into a hidden pedagogy for youth that's been impacted by in their homes in our community. And so that's very reflective of my journey. Mm-hmm. And if I had somebody there with their same resources and if somebody's seen me, or let's say my brother got a mentor like someone seen me, I don't know where I'd be if my mentor didn't say, come live with me.
Right.
I was still on the right track, but when you don't have that support system, it's so hard,
And I'm so happy that you mentioned support systems, because I feel like there's people who idealize how they got somewhere. Do you get what I'm saying? And they don't never look. Like I've literally had that. Like I've had talks with people and where they get mad, but I'm like, look at your support system. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you really have to surround yourself with people like-minded, or just, I caught myself hanging around once people, I don't say birds of a feather flock together. When I was younger, I hang around people doing all types of things and I was a nerd and I didn't care. But as you become an adult, it really matters. because now you're surrounding yourself by people that is reflective of what you want to do in life and what you want to be. So if this person's just sitting around smoking weed all day and they're not accomplishing nothing, you're going to sit around and be lazy. You're not going to see that motivation, you know, that dedication. You're not going to be around and influenced. And so it's really important to sit around people. I want to sit in a table, people doing greater than me. I want you to be doing better. I want you to be in a better position so that I can ask you, let's share these resources. I don't never want to come, I'm doing so much better, because I'm not. You know, I feel like I can always grow. I feel like I can always learn something new. We are always evolving, you know. Only time you don't learn nothing new is when you don't want to and you close your mind to it, you know.
So, right, like if people wanted to like get their kid into your program or anything like that, all I have to do is go onto the website and
our website, we're updating it now, so we're gonna add our memberships in our newsletter to sign up right now. We got some of it there, but basically if you wanted to sign up, there's different you can follow us on Instagram.com, S.T.E.A.M, between S.T.E.A.M, it's a lot, y'all. Between S.T.E.A.M, it's a period, so S.T.E.A.M and then underscore against and then violence. But if you go to the website, there's little Instagram icons. You can find our Instagram on the website and how to donate. You know, donations are volunteers. Sign up to be a volunteer. You can do that right on the site. You know, we're always looking at, if you don't got the money, if you can give your time to host a workshop, if you're a professional, if you have some type of trade, if you know you can give back, let's create something together. Let's collaborate so we can give back to the youth. You know, every year we do an annual robot building workshop.
oh, that's hella dope.
And so we do that in the summer around Juneteenth, and we're trying to update it, you know. So right now we do basic robot things, but we actually found a curriculum that we want to embed into our program and stick to it and make it. But it, you know, robots are $8,000, you know, so it's like really real robots. They get to program them. There's a curriculum that we teach to educate the teachers. I can hire people, and so that's what I'm really working towards, to become more you know, just copacetic in the program. And so yeah, we'll love to the more support. A lot of times I'm mostly boots in the ground. My board, a shout out to my board at S.T.E.A.M Against Violence. Shout out to I didn't forgot everybody's name. Shout out to Melissa. She's a astrophysicist. She graduated from UC Berkeley. She also has a degree in applied mathematics. Shout out to my co-founder and to my board member, Maria. Maria Young. I wouldn't be able to do it without you. Thank you for believing in me. I know we've had our ups and downs with it, but you stuck through it. She got her degree in cognitive science from UC Berkeley and math education. And then we have Raina Hamilton, who is the not founder, but one of the executive directors at UC Berkeley Lawrence Hall of Science. Shout out to you, Raina. I thank you and appreciate you for supporting us. And then we have Megan. You know, shout out to you, Megan. She's getting her master's degree in electrical engineering right now. She has an undergrad in electrical engineering, and she's really dope. She really comes through. Shout out to our CFO. Thank you for getting the money right, girl.
You have so much going on. Thank you so much. So we're gonna have to wrap this up, but I want to know if you could share. Okay, I want you to think about something before you share this poem.
Okay.
I want you to think about your favorite quote, and I want you to share a poem.
Oh, you want me to freestyle?
Oh, girl, you freestyle if you want to. What you want me to do? A beat? No, I'm just
okay. I'm not gonna freestyle for y'all tonight because I'm feeling a little shy, but I'll do something pre-written. I'm trying to think about what should I do. Okay, give me the word.
A word?
Yeah, you said give a word, didn't you?
A quote.
Oh, a quote.
Yeah, give me the quote. Give me the quote.
She was
What's
asking
your
you
favorite
a quote.
quote?
Oh, what's my favorite quote?
It could be even out of one of your poems. It don't have to be, you know.
Give black men their flowers while they're alive and not just on their grave. And I hope that if you take anything from this, you take to love on each other and to give men their flowers, and especially black men their flowers while they're alive, and to give back to the youth, to get a good support system, and to open up your heart and to allow others to show you who they are instead of taking in what others have projected that image of them to be. And I get that a lot often. I get a lot of people that, you know, I keep my circle tight and I appreciate the people that love me. But I feel like sometimes I do get a lot of people that go off what another person has said about me.
You know what? Here, let me tell you something. Say it with me. Fuck them.
Yes. Fuck them.
Fuck them.
But
I
yeah.
wish Jamie Foxx was here so he
But
could
yeah,
sing
fuck
it.
them. But I think that I wanted to add that's a common misconception about me is, you know. But then I'm getting better at that. The New Year's, like, if you feel that way about me, sit there, because the people that love me gonna love me, and they gonna know me, you know. So and also accountability. You know, I have to take accountability for anything, for being toxic to anybody. And I'm not perfect, but I just want to take the time, nobody in general, just to say, you know, all love, new year, no animosity. You know, if we don't talk anymore, we see each other around, we don't really speak, it's all love, you know. Even if we ain't the best of friends, I'm always gonna have so much love for everybody that I started this poetry journey on. And like, I'm just grateful to still have people that, you know, when I first started, Love Rich TT, shout out to you.
Shout out Love Rich.
I love her. That's my sister. She didn't switch up on me, you know. And I sat with her. We had some honest moments, and I had to reflect on myself and my maturity level, and sometimes of different things of navigating the creative space. And you know, shout out to Junie Speaks. Even,
Oh yeah,
you know,
Junie.
At the beginning we was super tight, and I'm always appreciate her and have so much love in my heart for her. Like, I love her. Shout out to Papi Grande. Shout out to really all the artists out there, that's the creatives that's out there. You know, we out here struggling, you know, every day is we gotta take it one day at a time. And I think that I'm mature enough to say that I'm just ready to move forward, and I wish everybody the best, because it's all love. And moving forward, I don't really have nothing negative to say about nobody. And even if we don't see eye to eye, it's going to always be a lot of love for you. So we going to end this on love. Thank you for having me. Tera Da Poet.
We still also, you want to shout out about your event coming up, your open mic.
Yeah, y'all. We have an open mic coming up. Yeah, so our open mic is going to be on this last Saturday. So shout out to Chamaki Cafe. They're a small Ethiopian cafe located on 2525 Telegraph in Oakland, California. So they provide this space for us, and they brought me on as the host to host different events for them. So I've been, you know, trying different things, but this open mic is going to be, I'm trying to make this consistent. So it'll be on the last Saturday, January 25th. There's going to be some amazing performers. Like, we got Lex the Pen. I've only seen her on Instagram, but honestly, I'm such in awe of what I've seen of her artwork. And we all know J.R. Rice.
Yeah,
we know he's such an animated poet. Even over myself, I gotta give a shout out to J.R. Rice, because I'm like, you my favorite. I love y'all though. Yeah, so come out and support us. It is a $10. I do want to let y'all know, like, the $10 do give back into continuing to create this space for us, and it gives back to S.T.E.A.M Against Violence. We get to create everything for S.T.E.A.M Against Violence. Is free. It's free. It's free for them. It ain't free for me. But, you know, I want to keep it free for the youth. I never want them to have to worry about being a part of the program. I want them to be exposed to robot building, mathematics support, healing through mathematics, social emotional learning, just everything, electrical engineering, anything technology. I want them to be able to know that they can do it.
Right.
And I didn't learn that into college in 2018 when I got a black math professor, you know. So shout out to the $10. Come through, even donate if you don't make it. You know, it goes back to a good cause. We'll have hosted by DJ Lingerie. She's a new up and coming DJ, and she's really cool. She's really dope. And, you know, hosted by me, and actually co-hosted by because I gotta leave a little early that day, Lex the Pen. So, and then featured by J.R. Rice. He's gonna be in our closeout, and yeah, it's gonna be a cool night, and come through, hang out with us. It's a safe space. We the $10 does include a free drink. Well, it's not free, y'all paying for it, but it's included, you know. So it's there.
That's what's up.
You know, come in, get a drink with the $10. Come have a good time. It's gonna be some good music, a great DJ, a great space, and good food and good energy. Cause, you know, I'm gonna be there hosting it, like, hey, you know. But yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate being on Ghetto Poetry Podcast. I mean, why did I say Ghetto Poetry?
Girl, cause you see me perform.
No, when I just want to shout out Bella, her poems was dope. I'm trying to get her on my open mic feature. She over here looking like, no, no, yes, you are. She's very talented.
Thank you very much, and I'll definitely do it. So I do want to thank all of the listeners out there. I hope that we are inspiring you guys over here at Ghetto Poet Podcast, because we're gonna keep putting this microphone in front of people's faces, just like Miss Tera the Poet right here.
Yeah.
And shout out to her. Thank you for sharing your story. I
Thank you
think
for
it was
having me and
thank
allowing
you.
me to
It
share it
was
on this platform. I don't really get to share my story a lot because
mhm.
I'm like, people really judgy or they feel sorry for me, and I don't want to be come off in that lens. I mean, and as I get older, it's like if I can share my story to help somebody else save their life or to help them to, motivate them or move forward, overcome adversity or whatever it may be, it actually very therapeutic. I can not hide it. I cannot, I can sit
Right.
in it. I can be not ashamed of the things that I couldn't control that all came into my little life and universe. So I'm grateful to share. I feel like the scars never go away, but as time, the pain becomes more manageable. It's unfortunate we can't bring back people, but we can continue to move forward and live for them and live and allow them to live through us.
And before we end, we do have Paul. Could you please
Yep.
read it for me? I can't read it from here.
No, and like you said, we got to give those people roses while they're here, but also
Absolutely.
the ones we have to acknowledge, the ones that went before us or before today.
Absolutely.
So again,
Rest in peace, Tick. One of my
Rest
homeboys,
in peace.
Rab or whatever, he sent this to me. I know my boy grieving right now. This is one of his childhood friends, and he wanted me to share this today. So I want to say rest in peace, Tick. And Paul, could you please read that for me?
absolutely. Hello, family and friends. Funeral services for Tyree Jones III will be held at Greater St. John Missionary Baptist Church, located at 1909 Market Street in Oakland, California, on Friday, January 17th at 10 a.m. His colors are any shades of blue and white. For the pallbearers, please wear navy blue. Lawrence Jones will contact those who are one. Please share this with those that I forgot to tag. And again, we love you, Tick.
Rest in peace, Tick. Shout out to my boy Rab. I would like to see more peace, like you said, being spread. And I'm really on the same shit you on. Like, it might be some people maybe we'll talk to each other in the future, but I'm more the fuck you type, so fuck you right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And it could be a fuck you out of love too. Again,
right,
no
right, right.
animosity,
And
no drama,
yeah,
no beef.
no
It's all see you.
animosity, no
Hey, what's up?
hardship.
I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
going, but yeah, fuck
But
it.
on some
You
but
know.
on some peaceful fuck you
Yeah,
shit.
some
Like,
peaceful fuck you shit. Fuck you. Yeah.
yeah, you know what
We
I'm saying?
we
Like,
don't care. You know.
right.
But it's great because I want to say thank you for sharing that message because I'm really working on that to not care about other.
Well,
others
you
thinking
know
about
what?
me.
It's just for me. It's just I just can't lend my energy to it. But I
Yeah.
ain't gonna lie, get me. That's why I have to be like, fuck it. It's a defense mechanism. Fuck it. Fuck you for right now. Pause. So we about to wrap up this show. Thank you to anybody that what I'm saying, took the time to listen. Go on to Instagram and go, holla at Tara. Definitely check out that STEAM program. And thank you for what you're doing for the community, and
Thank you.
congratulations on all your achievements.
Thank you.
And I might need you next semester. I
Got
mean,
you.
actually in a few weeks, girl, because I'm about
Got
to
you,
be
y'all.
taking a math class.
I got y'all. Come community. Slide through. Free through sliding scale price. Mathematician got you here. But take care of a sister. And I got you. Teach you that math.
Absolutely.
Actually, math is black people natural science. So don't be afraid of it. Put in the work.
We could talk about that after. So thank you everybody once again for watching, tuning in. Don't take my jokes too personally. And if you do, take your thong out of your ass. This is Bella, your ghetto poet, and I'm out. Peace.